Marine. I have a close friend who, thank you. I have a friend who was a former embassy guard in Cairo, so he knows firsthand about this. The Marine embassy guards have ammunition. What you're saying, somebody told you wrong, bud. I gotta tell you.
That first came out, and it's not true.
That's malarkey. You gotta listen to what's true. This is an embassy guard, a sergeant, who is telling me this. They were restricted in using any kind of force during the Bush administration by Donald Rumsfeld. This is first-hand information. This isn't from any cable news. This is from a Marine embassy guard. So just be aware, Obama didn't have anything to do with telling those guys don't shoot the Muslims. They have ammunition, they're not allowed to use it.
Here's my broader point. And you make a great point.
You tell me.
You make a great point. This is a really important election. We better be smart, informed voters. The problem we got now is we all got our beliefs, and we tend to only listen to and read things that reinforce our beliefs. So if we're conservative, all we do is listen to Fox News. If we're liberal, all we do is listen to MSNBC. And we tend to talk to people who agree with us. Folks, if that's what you do, you're not going to get any smarter. Okay? And you look, the internet's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. But you and I both know there's a lot of crud on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
The great thing is, as a candidate, I can get my message out really easily, but as a candidate, anybody can go on the internet and say the worst darn things about me. We got to be smart voters. Here's all I care about. We are at war. We are at war with a radical strain of Islam that's trying to kill us. Republican, Democrat, and everything in between. I want my government to protect us against that danger because it's right here just like it's abroad. Questions need to be asked. Congress needs to investigate what happened in Libya. Absolutely. And the administration needs to be open and honest. And I wish they'd get off of this anti-Muslim film that caused everything. This was a planned, calculated attack. They need to admit it, say it was an act of terror, and let's find out why it happened and move on. Yes? Yes, sir.
Passing the Democrats and the Republicans work hand in hand and work real well, you infer to their own best interest. You come with a set of values, and the other guys come with a set of values. What are you willing to negotiate and give away, compromise, so that we can make progress in our government?
Great question. Probably my favorite question. Understand the context, though. I came to Washington 2 years ago with a much different value than most of my colleagues. And I said something when I got elected, and I continue to say it, and it drives my staff crazy. And this will be on tape, so Tammy might use it. Hear me, hear me. I could give a damn about my next election. That's not why I'm there. I only say that because most members of Congress, Republican and Democrat, this is what guides them. And so if you're not there, driven by your next election, it frees you up to try to do what you believe in. And here's what I know. This country is broke and we're not working. I know why we're broke and why we're not working. Because we have too big of a government that we can't afford, and we have government sitting on top of the rest of us. We're overtaxed, we're overregulated. If you want this country to take off, we really know what needs to be done. Simplify the tax code, get rid of all the deductions and loopholes, lower taxes for everybody, let Americans keep more of what they make. All of this will generate huge government revenues. So you'll have more money going into government, and then cut spending, namely, be grown-up boys and girls about our entitlement programs, Medicare and Social Security. We had better be grown-ups when it comes to Medicare and Social Security, because really, truly, that's where most of the money is in government. Look, I want to come home from Afghanistan tomorrow. I've been public about that. Come home tomorrow. You'll save about $110 billion. I can tell you government program after government program I'd love to get rid of. You'll save good money. But the big money is in the fact that we have 10,000 Americans retiring every day, and thank God we're living till we're 92. How we pay for that is going to decide the kind of country we live in. We have got to right away sit down and fix it. Because Obama and Walsh and everybody in between us know in Washington that Medicare is gone in about 10 to 12 years. I mean gone. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. It's gone. So to not do anything to Medicare is to let it just go. Cut taxes, simplify the code, start drilling for oil out there, get this country working, and do something about entitlements, and you will see this country take off.
But my question was...
I know, I avoided the question.
We understand your values, and you...
So where will I compromise?
Everybody else has their values. Where's the spirit of compromise here, so we get the drill out there, or we get the government smart, or whatever we need to get done? How do we get it done? We don't get it from your values, we get it from your compromises.
Paradoxically, the compromise is in simplifying the tax code, getting rid of deductions and loopholes that the wealthy take advantage of, in exchange for entitlement reform. Remember Simpson-Bowles, the President's Own Debt Commission? This is what Simpson-Bowles recommended. Simplify the code, get rid of deductions, have real entitlement reform. That was the basis for a compromise. I think that's the compromise. I will never compromise on taxes. I will never ever raise taxes on anybody because I don't think it's the right thing to do. Hey look, I want to generate government revenues. I want more money going into government, but you do that by cutting taxes so you grow the economy. But that's the basis for compromise. And I think you'll see that after this election. Republicans and Democrats will come together. I think there's a chance we can agree to get rid of a lot of deductions and loopholes, simplify the tax code. When you simplify the tax code and get rid of deductions and loopholes, hear me, the wealthy end up paying more. And then have real entitlement reform. That's the basis for your compromise. And we'll throw in drilling for oil right in the parking lot. It's a joke again, Tammy. Go.
Being the type of person that tries to live in the real world most of the time, presuming you get everything you want, fantastic. All you have to do is sign an executive order and multiply something. What are you going to do about that? Is anybody following what's happening in Dane County of Wisconsin?
What's been going on in
judge?
Oh, judge.
We just reversed about everything.
Yeah, well, and it will be appealed and appealed.
And then they'll sue again.
Yeah. Look, there's no doubt that when it comes to things like executive orders, this president has, how can we say it diplomatically? He has stepped all over the Constitution. He couldn't pass immigration policy, so he just snapped his fingers and legalized a couple million illegal immigrants. Now that's not right, and he did great damage, I think, to that issue. If he wins again, I think you'll see Congress be a lot more aggressive in going after him and his executive orders and cutting off funding to implement a lot of these executive orders. Hey, look, Rick, I agree. Again, I know I've been accused of being part of the status quo. I was after my party last year to fight a lot more.
How do you fight? How do you fight the executive order? What's the process?
You can hold hearings and hold on, generate a lot of outrage. Put a spotlight on these executive orders. You can pass budgets and resolutions denying him funding to carry out these executive orders.
The Senate won't pass.
Right, but again, but then the House just stands firm and says, I'm not budgeting.
You know the next one's on recess. Pretty close to the end of recess right now. And he's going to do it while you're in recess. He's going to do another one. You don't have to work the first time.
I think right now, guys, again, I know what you're saying, my friend. my friend from Tennessee. Don't you love it how congressmen always talk? My good friend from the good state of Tennessee. I know what you're saying, but here's how I'm thinking. We got an election in 47 days that is going to dictate the future of this country. If you want to be hung up on Obama and executive orders right now, God bless you. Right now, I'm hung up on, pick the side you're on. You either like where Obama's taking the country, and if you do, God bless you. Work as hard as you can to get rid of people like me. Or you're scared to death with where Obama's taking the country. Your only focus these last 47 days are work hard to get rid of him, respectfully. None of these other things matter. After the election, see how it all shakes out. Right now, the focus is on the election. There's a lot of crud, there's a lot of crap hitting the fan by the end of the year. All these tax rates that are due to expire. We can obsess about all that now, and it's important stuff, but how this election works out is going to dictate what we do. Oh, I'm raising my voice. And I didn't want to raise my voice today. You did it to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Other issues, thoughts, questions?
What was wrong with what Mitt Romney said about 47% on pay?
The question was, what was wrong with what Mitt Romney said about the 47%?
It was honest.
It was just honest. Right.
You know what? He didn't say it as probably exquisitely as he should have said it. And what he should have said is,
Because he was speaking the truth.
Yeah, I know that. Look, I know better than anybody. This is a game of gotcha. Every single word that Joe Walsh says is being taped by my opponents. That's what these cameras are for. So politicians get very afraid to do this. There's another one over there. But what Mitt Romney meant to say was this. Here's why this is the most important election in our country's history. Because we are at a scary point right now where there are too many Americans dependent upon government, or as a very wise woman told me in the last campaign, we have too many people in the wagon and not enough people pulling the wagon. And if we don't get this election right, the people pulling the wagon are going to put the wagon down and say, you know what, I've had it, I'm tired. That's what this election is all about. And yeah, the liberal media got all worked up about it because they love it. They love Obama.
It's just a sidetrack to what the issues are. It's a sidetrack not to explain the fact that we're under a terrorist attack. That's all it was. It was a ploy to get us to once again, just to distract the truth.
Paul Ryan, I'll give Paul Ryan the credit. Paul Ryan came and met with all of the Republicans yesterday in Washington. And he had a great line. He was talking to all the Republicans, saying this election's really close. And he said, look at what the president's doing. Look at what he didn't say Duckworth, but he said, look at what all the Democrats are doing. They're running a squirrel campaign. They're running a squirrel campaign. Look, there's a squirrel. Even though he's laughing. I love that line. It's like they're seeing squirrels everywhere because they're trying to distract us. Look, there's another squirrel. They will not focus on the fact that this great country right now is going through about 19% unemployment. This great economy of ours is not growing. This great country is broke. Our healthcare system is broke. Obamacare is going to sink us, and we're losing freedoms every day. You're not going to hear the president talk about these things. You won't hear Tammy Duckworth and other Democrats talk about these things. They're trying to distract us. Talk about, it's like what they do with women. It just slays me the way Democrats treat women. If you're a woman, raise your hand.